Hello, this is messages brought to you by Dark Legion, the clan that I wish I could freaking lead, but I don't know, because the messages haven't come across. That's why I have my Legion of Merit t-shirt, which I've had for about 10 years. Well, anyway, what I wanted to say today is marijuana rag, looks really amazing, and I'm really unhappy to have bought it for 99 cents, because I paid $3 for it. Well, anyway, I want to invent a way to manage. I want to be able to get people to make messages and send them. Been looking at the constant, hidden, arm flexes. Like I can get it to where I'm not using the skeleton to move the arm, and I can. I'm not fully at it. I can get this to like constantly like wibble is what it's called, but I think it's censored, you know. But it just constantly goes like this, when a message wants to come across, and it counts how many. It just did it one time. But anyway, it just goes boink, like it heard you, And I can do it all over my body. But the point is that it needs to be trained, and people need to train and develop it. Buddhism is stupid. I went to a monastery. I learned a lot, about not that, and went to, churches, went to all kinds of shit. I'm not seeing any messages. It has nothing to do with training, has nothing to do with the great path, has nothing to do with the quest. All it has to do with is demolish, you know. So anyway, my idea was just basically get 5, 10 people together and be able to communicate. I'm in a monastery. There is no speech except for the bubbling stomach and burping and coughing and the obvious things that goes on when you're trying to be quiet. And it's obvious. It's very easy to notice it. It's very hard to notice it. And what is it? That's the small thing that you need to kind of get it. It, you know. So what I propose that I will never be able to do, but I'd like to be able to and want to. But I think it would be probably crazy. Would be to not make it crazy, make it something public and make it a training thing, where we get like 3 to 5 people together as an experiment. Craigslist would probably be a good option. Find some people there, and basically take some messages and write them down, and then use what I use to write my rhymes as well as my percussions, because I know that when I do boom boom chick, if I'm a kid saying boom boom chick, it can sound like someone's butt, and that's not really enough if it's too weak and it's not strong enough to pump one time. If my dad was like sitting there like measuring my hand constantly and like he's like, you're too wimpy, you're not going to be strong enough in school, you know. So I thought maybe I could just take, a message and be able to relay it, so I could say, here's an example. What kind of tobacco is this? And I could say premium blend. Now, saying premium blend, in school they taught me to, have 10 people, like people in a circle, and then they pass the message to each other, and then it changes as it goes around. But they did not say that you're supposed to know what it was. Plus, I added counter equivalent. Basically, that, what people have taught each other is that children, people who learn, are not supposed to know exactly what something is. And then that way, they will say wide open what something is and will secretly tell you what something is. But that is actually saying, I'm going to be old and die, and you're going to give me what I want. And and then it happens, and they have their fantasy or whatever, and it passes it, and they're like, well, So my point was is saying, like, instead of just saying premium blend, and then someone says, boobity boobity, instead, people would keep changing it to something else and make it stupid, and then not pay attention and die mid sentence because they wouldn't have been able to finish. So my idea was, if I said that, what would come to my mind that I would see in the dream sequence? What would I come to when I close my eyes and see the metaphor? When I feel the physiphor is what it is, a real thing you can touch. There is no metaphor when there are caterpillars, in my opinion, because, larva and then caterpillar and then butterfly is three different people. Instead, it should just be, this is going from this section to this section. Bugs can do it as well, but they do it very tiny movements, and it's just balancing their body, because if you almost fall, you got to be able to keep yourself up, and that one reflex like this could be a letter L, premium blend, and then you say, well, there's the L from premium blend, and then you go to the next person and say L, but there would be some kind of better physical, like a physical, real thing, like a fizz hit of what it would be, a little reflection bounce, a little, that happens. That's the eye twitching, and the point is, we get rid of rape, get rid of a lot of things that are really bad. And it would basically be able to, from person to person, you would just pick things that would actually be used. Usually what people think of is, I do want to fuck you, but not really, or, your face, you don't ever say, you're not going to make it to the tryouts. Bye. And then the person's like, can't fathom thing. So I would want it to be able to send a message, instead of all those freaking commercials. We get so many freaking commercials every day. I think we could live forever if we did not just sign ourselves, to not doing this. Not be able to take everything we have to say, put it into a physical effort. Like I said in the other video, T-Roy watch, men's butts, women's butts. Basketball, women don't play basketball. Women's basketball. Still doesn't make sense to me. And why the hell would a bunch of men watch basketball? Like their hands would feel like a basketball. I've seen people's hands and feet. But the point is that, things would be added to it, and it would be really needed to be done, damn it. Why can't I fucking do it? I mean, why can't I just get like 5 or 10 people to do it and just get them to try it one time, because all I'm looking at, if it was insane to do, is just the fact that I'm a huge cum splotch, from some parent, which is a pant. If there was a turntable, and parents, I'm just tired of this little message like that. That's just like a little wrinkle, and then it has like a little line in it. It just starts over here and it goes over here, and it doesn't comprehend. And I just wish that, I could just like, we have movements like this that we could use. Grab something at the third one, it looked like. Grab would be a word. Or let, or something, or play, or something would be there, there's just so many. There's just a bajillion, I could do this. What do you want me to do? Just shoot a little bow and arrow with this little arrow. That's what I wanted to convey, was just these types of messages. When someone's sitting there like this, or someone's like, why do that when you could do better signals, that actually say more, and you could actually see what it is and feel, and I mean, it's just, okay. You know, and I told you, you know, like I said, you know, about the crazy part of it. I mean, the other part, you know, is just that if you go to an asylum, all it's for is just drug dealing. I mean, look at marijuana and how it was affecting people before it was legalized and how they were trying to legalize it. Now it's not exciting at all. It's lame. All the weed smells like a bunch of people legalized bullshit weed. All the plants are like, what the fuck's up with this shit? You know, it doesn't smell like the fucking weed I was smoking 10 years ago. You know, and that's what it's telling me. You know, that's what everything is like. You know, there is no fun to it anymore. It's like no one can, you know, no one can complete a sentence for me, you know, without it. And that's the thing. You know, I mean, if someone was bitching at me like that, it's like, you know, I want to get this done. You know, where is it? You know, and they're really freaking out. You know, I mean, that's the type of thing I'd want to pass. You know, instead of it build up and then you're just like acting like sitcoms and stuff. You know, and you know, there's a billion ways to take the word premium blend. You know, but the reason why, you know, it's probably not ever going to work is because English is not even done correctly. If it was, you know, I think that there's a lot more to it than the word premium blend. You know, someone can't say it and then it would get lost and they'd be happy and, you know, not paying attention, you know. So that's the point. Because, like, if, you know, someone would be like, I'm paying attention, you know. And then what would they do? Recognize? You know. So the point is that has to be done. Gestures have to be done. You know, physograms have to be done, you know. I'm tired of it, you know, because I, you know, people, you know, take a gram and then they pass it, you know, and they have something to say in the gram. That's why they have Instagram. Why you think, you know, why you think 10% of the population, 10%, more like 10, you know, at least, smokes all the time, and, you know, at least, what, 80% have bought it somehow, or probably 100 if one person did it for everyone. I mean, that's a gram, that's a message, you know. That's like, you know, I wanted this and this guy could do it for me, and if it makes it, he'll do it, you know. That's what fame's for. That's it, you know. But it's just too slow. It's like it's been around for fucking 100,000 years. It's been around for fucking millions of years. There was famous dinosaurs, I'm sure. There's famous chickens. I know which ones stand out the most, you know, and say the most. You know, have you ever had a farm for chickens? You know, and that's the point, you know, is that there's got to be content. You know, there's got to be, you know. So, you know, it's just like, you know, like I said, tapping, you know, and you could say, you know, here's one that's pretty easy to try. Premium blend has, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a space, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 letters. You can see and count them. Okay. You know, that's the chocolate point, man. Point. You know, premium blend, chocolate, coffee, you know, and then you would think of it, and instead of saying chocolate, coffee, and then do, you could just kind of put something together that's a little bit post-English, you know, something else that's not, that any language could use, you know, just a little small amount, you know, just a little tiny, just like when I was looking at the Mario video and it has a little bit of English in it. It's just enough. I mean, come on, man. Jeez, you know, I mean, jeez. You know, cheese? You know, I mean, you know, and I mean it, man. I mean, and then premium blend, so I could do, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I could use the number 8 in it. I could use letters. I could use something, and then I could see what person's metaphor was. And I could say, well, I'm just going to, you know, do whatever I do. Just And I'll be like, that's how I'm figuring out premium blend. Like, what does that mean? And he'd be like, what does that mean to you? You know, and you know, I do the gesture, and then it'd be like, I don't know. It looks like I'm waiting in the store to buy something, you know, because I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, 8, 8, 8, 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 8, 8. You know, I mean, usually what I would see, you know, over here, you know, is just making 8s out of this, you know, because 8 on a calculator fills in all of the numbers, you know, except for, you know, the little cross thing, but it does go across. Well, I mean, it could, you know, or, you know, I could do 0, 0, 0, 0, you know, if that was helpful. But I think that it would actually, since the 8 is the most prominent, it would, you know, cover up all the digits. And then I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there'd be one left D. You know, and then I would be like, you know, and I would see what that would mean, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and I said, you know, it's counting by 4, 13, you know, 1, 4. I mean, it's really easy when it's all stuck together, you know, but it has to be stuck together, you know, and that's the part of that training, you know, and to know if it was premium blend or not, it would be the goal, you know, to see what it would mean. And it doesn't take other people to do it. You know, it can do it with just one person doing it, with them doing it, with you doing it for them if they are completely incapacitated. If you ever played cards with somebody and they just could, you know, and they're just like, oh man, you know, just passed out on the couch, and you're like, well, he's still got 5 cards in his hand. You know, I'll just take him and play it for him. I mean, how is it going to be any different? You saw his strategy, how he'd play, you see how he looks, you see what he did, or she, or it, or them, or one, you know, and you can be like, well, you know, that person right there probably played this way, so they're probably going to try to get the highest card. I mean, it's not hard to have an easy automatic way, you know, to get it across, you know, but the point is that if I could actually get a person to understand that that is premium blend tobacco, you know, with all that shit on it, you know, it would be even more fun, because when you get bored, I mean, if you drew this, you know, it would probably take some time, but I mean, if you just saw it one time and you saw it, you know, and someone completes it with you, you know, and it's like Indian, this, that, I mean, instead of having, you know, Jesus do it, which is, if, you know, really it's just him molesting us, then the present he got, present he got, present he got, is just present he got, present he got, present he got, present he got, you know, and that's not going to help me. You know, when I'm getting a present, you know what my first present that I wanted was when I wrote it on a little tiny slip of paper? It was to get my cousin to marry me and for her to love me forever and do whatever I want. Even if she didn't know. But really. And my parents told me to write it on a piece of paper and put it somewhere. And I did. And I never told them what it was. But obviously they knew what it was. I wrote it. It was secret. What else are you going to choose from in the secret stuff to put? It's going to be the worst possible thing if they can't see it. Obviously, I'd have the ability to hide it, but they would see it, you know, and that's the type of message that you all going to send, you know, when you do this type of shit. You're going to be like, well, I want him to marry me and be with me forever. Or, you know, it will be something pleasurable for sure, right? Or would it not? You know, but the point is that those secrets are obviously seen. You know, it's been studied. You know, you go to prison cells. People only have a set amount of items. People in there are like freaking computer wizards, man. You know, they can take anything and make it something. You know, because they're just subtracting what it's not. You know, it's like taking a little piece of soap and making something out of it. You know, but the thing is that we don't need prisons. We don't want prison. You know, and what we need is people to be able to take what they have out of what they saw and say, you know, I have an amount, you know, this is what I'm trying to paint here for you to see, you know, premium blend, you know, instead of leaded, you know, I mean, come on. I mean, how do you chill someone out, you know? So there would be a lot of ways to describe it, but whatever you would think of that would, like, I don't know, the way I do it is I just kind of find something that I can see and kind of touch it, you know, in my mind. Like I can walk up and just kind of touch it with my finger, you know, and, you know, or, but You know, I mean, I see a sandal, I see a foot already on it first, you know, because I could be, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how could you just look at a sandal and not have a sandal fit for one person? I mean, you know what I mean, but you don't. You don't. You don't. Well, what am I supposed to do then, Survivor Man? Woman? Thing? You know, and just the way that language has been, it just needs piles and piles of this type of shit, and it needs to happen instead of it not, you know, because secrets shouldn't be, they shouldn't even have sex being done, really. If you knew what pleasure was, is just taking something in a tube and saying, Dinty Moore and his fucking beef stew that he fucking worked his ass off for is gonna go from, I found this shit when I was walking down the sidewalk and I was kind of scared, honestly, because who the fuck is gonna place beef stew out there? You know, and then there's fucking bags of like, I don't know, man. And then somebody stole my wallet like about a week ago. But I think he gave me Dinty Moore beef stew because I lost like $50 or $60. So if I'm finding shit on the street, I hope that it's for me. That's kind of like a fucking wake up Colgram. Condom would be. If I said the word condom, why can't everyone just be behind a condom with a message, huh? Why can't we all, just have everything that we want pleasurable and it stay, instead of it be all over. Be all over, You can just, and I mean, what would pick it would be the small things, big things that would kind of count it. We have head bobbing, we have no, yes, and different things like that, and, I mean, there's plenty. There's plenty, it's just, and I mean, if the intentions, were just indirect instead of direct, well, how about be direct? We shouldn't not know, like 100% of the stuff and just get this little nothing, and then we can make money and we, who has nothing else left but just what junk that we have, would remember this crap. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not like that. It could be. Would you turn against yourself? What if people did already? What if you could remember something? But I mean, I'm just saying, if there was, a bank slip and you could just take a straw or take a tube or something, pleasure is just taking this and putting it in the slot and then it comes out as it, but it's got to be awesome, right? I mean, just beef stew. I mean, you can't just say, I mean, you can, I mean, be like, Dirty Moore beef stew, and then, beef stew goes from, starving someone's stomach, to other place. It just has to have things to go with it on the way. It's got to eat meals. It's got to have things. When you go from place to place, you got to eat at a restaurant. You got to take a nap. You got to have a cigarette or whatever, or fuck, or write, or work, or play. I mean, come on. I mean, and it could just make it. It could make it. It could make it. It's gonna make it. Then instead of being like, well, I wanted this wrinkle, so I can be old and perverted and just watch my, grandson, because I can't tell anyone about me not wanting it. And then wanting it is someone's name. I'm like, oh, wanting it. I understand. Let me tell you about Banana Guy. And then it talks about some stupid shit guy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just, premium blend, Another way to do it, premium blend, premium blend. If you do that with every word, I mean, some of them, premium blend, blemium prend, usually is what, I mean, that's been used mostly, like, to take something and remember it. You just like a little garden thing. You put it in the garden, it tills it up one time. You know, if you can say "Blemium print" in front of someone and it doesn't sound like a little baby, you know, or a little kid about to get raped, you know, almost not metaphorically, you know, physophore. I mean, why can't it just be something fucking cooler than physophore then? You know, and you can say, you know, physophore then would be physophore fin. You know, and if you don't get it, then, I mean, how can you not get that? I mean, that's like saying, you know, if I can say premium blend and then I say premium blend again, you know, then I couldn't say blemium print somewhere. That's not right. I know when someone does that they have a very urgent message, of course, but they needed, you know, to be able to say blemium print and premium blend, you know, if that's what, you know, doesn't, you know, fuck it up. You know, you don't want to sit there and put one thing and then just sit there, you know, and then not see the blemium print and the premium blend, you know, because it's got to be there. It's got to be there. It's got to, you know. And then when I say my name's James, I can say my name's Claims Jinx Tails. You know, but it needs to be able to kind of floop it up. You know, you can't have someone with word salad in a freaking asylum, you know, who just says, and then all he wants is salad, is money, it's green, look at the green. Someone wants to get his pill so he can get high. And what else is it for? They can't smoke marijuana, it's not legal everywhere, you can't just have a 4-year-old smoke it. Why? You know, because, you know, I have a bunch of stupid shit to add here. You know, I could say, I completely rooted it in it, you know, and I could say, good guy. You know, I could say anything, you know, and I'm sure it would have a really strong philosophical connection, you know, but the point is that I want to do that, and I'm fucking tired of not being able to, you know, because I'm really good at writing, and I just can't get any better anymore, because it's just getting all mucky and everything, you know, so I can't really write, you know, it's irritating as hell, you know, can't, it's just like, if you were sick and you were trying to talk and it has too much of the phlegm, you know, be like, like that much snot in your nose, like just a big, huge vial of it, you know, and it hurts your head. It's like, you know, if you did a backflip accidentally, you're like, oh my head, and then all that blood goes to your skull, you know, and really gets in that head, you know, and I mean, that's just the point, you know. So I want to be able to do it, but I mean, why give me the integrity? Why make me, you know, not be able to when I try? You know, why would people want that the most? You know, I mean, why can't you people just get sane? You know, I don't have anything. I never got anything. You know, I did want. I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I don't understand why raw format doesn't work. You know, you can't just say, I feel this way. You know, you just, that's the point, you know, instead of, you know, crappy messages that aren't good, man. You know, you could take a message and pass it, you know, but it could get better, you know, because that's how it works. You know, you start with a small snowball, then you add snow, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, future kids. You know, that's what I want. That's what I'd say in there if I had to tell you about a snowball that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I want my future kids to come rolling down the hill. You know, it'd have to end up. I mean, the person ends up with fucking nice, sizable snowball and can't pass it. You know, what the fuck? I mean, you should be able, you know, to take idea, you know, premium blend and then add more good things to it. What do I need for premium blend? Premium print? You know what I do? Like this? You know, you don't do like super weird gang signs that end up with people like getting busted and shit. That's not gonna help. You don't do, you don't do yoga, and you know, because yoga is, like I said, you know, and you don't do martial arts because I showed you a picture of the guy holding the foot, smelling it. You know, you don't do this. It's a shitty chop, man. I drew that shit. Shitty chop, shitty slice. You know. You know, it's when someone takes a shit and their hand is like this, kind of like Kim Jong-un, and it's just like, who, you know, he just takes a nice wipe shit, you know, with his hand, because it's like perfectly shaped in the wipe thing. You know, I mean, why couldn't it be, man? You know? I mean, why couldn't it be? You know? And why couldn't it be? You know, I mean, just, you know, I mean, I just think that that's urgent. You know, I think that, you know, I want to be able to take everything about my life and be able to send it through each person with everything. It's already done, but we're just not looking at it. It's really new. I mean, birds chirp. I already know how to do that shit. It's really easy. You know, but, you know, I just want it to be better. You know, I want navigation.